Hello, and welcome back to Bulls Bunch. Red Bulls. We're talking about the New York Red Bulls. I know I have a Devils jersey. That's just because that's the closest team in the state to them, I believe. So we're going to talk about the New York Red Bulls today. That's my surprise video. I'm a big MLS fan. I've been a Red Bull fan for more than 10 years. And now I'm going to talk about the Red Bulls a little bit and see. It's a bit of a de-stressor before Game 4, because the last few videos have been so stressful. I've been pushing myself to do notes during the game and after the game to make sure that I'm covering everything in the videos from the games. And I wanted a bit of a de-stressor to talk about soccer a little bit. So the New York Red Bulls, a team that. In soccer, it's a lot different. You talk about rebuilds in like hockey or baseball, and the Red Bulls are a team that it's like a rebuild on the fly, and it's a team that for the last couple of years, it's like, all right, they got to go through a full rebuild. But the thing is, their system is good enough, and they have a lot of infrastructure from Red Bull being an international. That's the benefit of the corporatization of soccer, which is not a fun thing in general. It's one of the few benefits, in my opinion, is they're in the pipeline with other Red Bull organizations in Salzburg and in Germany at Leipzig, and that usually doesn't work for us. Usually, we're the ones losing our good players upwards, but Red Bull's management has done a good job this year. And also rookie head coach Gerhard Struber was a great name. And I'll say it any chance I get. And so coming into this year, I was expecting nothing. Absolutely nothing. I was saying I think playoffs were, the height of my dreaming for this team. And thus far, look at their results. It's all over the place. But in a crowded Eastern Conference, heading into play today, this will be out of date almost immediately, but they're in third place in the East heading into Saturday after a 2-0 win against Nashville last night. The two losses to start the year, interestingly enough, if they had started pointless in the first two games, you would think that it would be like, all right, we're definitely in the rebuild. But they looked really competitive in those games, and they're playing a Sporting KC team that's a really good team coming off a pretty good year. LA Galaxy with Chicharito scoring a hat trick in that game. So they, first of all, coming out of the gate and scoring 3 goals in 2 games, allowing 5, very uncharacteristic on both ends. I feel like the Red Bulls, they have been a good offensive team, but so many new pieces for over the last few years that you would think that it would take longer to get going, but they've done a good job offensively. Defensively, look at the goals against since, and it's really leveled out. Helps that they're really good at home. What's that? 3 straight 2-0 wins at home? Yeah. Oh no, they got a 2-1 in there. But outscoring opponents at home by a pretty decent margin so far. Was that 9-3? Oh my god, 9-3. I think that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Anyway, but let's talk about the squad. The squad, they've finally got Klimala over. He had a great assist last night. It got lost in that it was Fabio's first goal after 15. I think he had 15 shots on the year. He jointly led the team in shots, but didn't have a goal. And I was starting to feel like a Gonzalo Verón, if you remember him from a few years back, where it's a guy they shell out some money for, and then he's a forward who can't score, and you're like, and I was starting to feel that again. And he scores a absolute bomb last night with the outside of the right foot off the volley. And, that buys him some time, between now and his next goal. Hopefully it won't be as long. Caden Clark down the middle, 18 years old. He's incredible already. He was, the good thing for the team was early on, he kind of had to drag them offensively. It felt like the last few games, I haven't noticed him quite as much on the ball, and they still have played pretty well. It's a high press unit that has done the job so far. They create chances off turnovers. And Frankie Amaya, former first overall pick, comes in and has been pretty decent. Sean Davis, the captain, has been fairly steady. Reyes, outside of the New England game where he had a nightmare with the red card, that basically was the only game that really got out of control for Red Bull so far. And that's impressive too for Gerhard Struber. There, I made sure I said it again. Because, that's the best team in the East right now, and that's the only game that got away from them. I'm impressed. Well done. And it shouldn't have. The red card doomed to them. Reyes with some really hot-headed plays, and they got to try to get that in check a little bit. In the back, this is just the lineup from last night. Tolkien, 17 years old, had his prom last week, comes out, plays really pretty well at left back. The Red Bulls like to get their outside backs involved in the attack, and I really enjoy that because Kyle Duncan, who can be an adventure, is really fun to watch offensively, creating chances. Last night, striking one home with the left foot from a decent ways outside the box. So that's pretty fun to watch one of your defenders on the weak foot just rip one bottom corner. In the middle of the defense, I've liked Tarek the last few years. I know he's been kind of battling injuries, and with a new manager, it's like, you got to earn your way back in. Edwards last night came out a little bit early. I thought he was fine. Hopefully he's not hurt. Sean Nealis, who last year was like the bane of my existence, had a really tough time adjusting. And to be fair, another guy that's very, very young, and it was like, I think it was his first experience outside of like USL. So, there's a learning curve. And I think Aaron Long going out, I kind of was like, oh, that's it. They're screwed. And they've done pretty well in response to that so far. Now, they haven't played a ton because of the international break and the Euros, which I have on in the background. But I don't know. Right now, I'm actually pretty excited. They show pretty good shape. They've been able to hunker down defensively. And that's without me being super impressed by any one person defensively. On the bench, Yearwood has been, he's brought some life to some of the games through some good passing, just creating stuff going forward. I like him in the midfield. Velo is a good option off the bench. He had a great story, was it last year or the year before, the torn ACL, and then he comes back and he has a pretty good year. Omir Fernandez, more midfield depth. Daniel Royer, it hurts that he was hurt last night. He adds a lot as well into either the midfielder or the Caden Clark position a little bit. Christian Cáceres has been pretty good, a good option. So there's some decent depth of guys that can come off the bench and give you pace. That's pretty exciting. Tom Barlow, I just the last few years between him and White, I haven't been a believer. And so I'm kind of excited at a change up top. That's all I could say. And in goal, haven't been impressed by Carlos Coronel too much. He made a good save last night against Nashville, in basically the only time that he was tested. It was kind of right at him, but it was hit with pace, so he just got compact and just kept it out. So that was good. He had a really bad game against Philly, where the one goal just took a odd approach to it coming off his line, and I used to play goalies, so I can judge this guy. I don't know. There hasn't been that like breakout game for him, and I kind of feel bad because I've, ever since Luis Robles has been gone, 2 or 3 years now, it hasn't been completely steady in goal, and I'm kind of hoping that Ryan Mira gets another shot, maybe with Open Cup play. I know they like to alternate goalies a little bit, so you get the starter some time off, and maybe that could create more playing time for Mira in the regular season, because I have tended to like Mira a little bit better. David Jensen just got loaned out. Of course, I feel like I already know a lot more about the goalies because I pay a lot of attention to it as a former goalie, but Ryan Mira, I think, just a little more agile from what I've seen. Maybe that's not true. Maybe in training it's the complete opposite, but David Jensen had an unbelievable save in the MLS's back tournament last year to save 3 points against Atlanta. We still didn't get out of the group stage, but he's like too built, and for a goalie you need to have some agility. And for Jensen, I always felt a little bit uncomfortable with him in the back. Coronel, A little bit better than Jensen, I think, in terms of agility, but still a little bit stiffer than I'd like. And so that's why I'm kind of hoping Ryan Mura gets another shot. Yeah, but that's always going to be difficult. You're not always going to have a Didi Gregorius situation like in baseball where Derek Jeter's gone. Oh boy, who's going to live up to it? And then immediately Didi Gregorius is amazing. That's really difficult in goal for the Red Bulls. It hasn't. I mean, it's hard to get back to Luis Robles level. It's one of the best goalies MLS has seen, but they're working at it. They're still. I don't think that guy is on the roster currently. That you're like that guy's the goalie for the next 5 to whatever years. But I will say, really impressed by management's ability this year to kind of find pieces, some cast-offs in Amaya and Reyes to an extent, and they've spent a little bit, and so far 4 wins, 4 losses. You see that schedule just alternating, results, but I would say in terms of like how confident you are in their play, I had like that the New England game is the only one that got away, and they got a red card in that game. So basically just keep your heads, keep the formation, and keep believing in the process with Gerhard Struber 3 times. And because so far I feel like he's got a good beat on this, doing a good job in his first MLS job, and and with the team a little bit beat up right now with injuries. So exciting as a Red Bull fan. You never let your hopes get too high though, because that's when they kill you. Because they're basically for hockey fans. If you decided to watch this, first of all, thank you. If you wanted to just mix it up, the Red Bulls are basically the Washington Capitals. Excellent in the regular season. Excellent. Never can do it in the playoffs. And yeah, the Capitals at least have 2018. The Red Bulls, who could have won in 2018. But yeah, the Red Bulls, 3 supporter shields, no titles. They've basically broken me from like believing that they can win it all. But it's fun to at least enjoy them in a year that I thought they might have to go through full rebuild and be bad. Start off looking very competent. Very competent. Not the most glowing thing, but there's energy. It's not an old team, and they've got some guys who have shown stuff. Caden Clark, obviously, terrified of losing him in a couple of years when Salzburg, Leipzig, somewhere in Europe comes calling. God, I'm never going to get over Tyler Adams, but like you eventually get used to it. It's different than being a fan of any North American sport because, players, you can sell while you're a good team. Like we don't think of that as hockey fans or baseball fans of like, oh, sell off even while you're good. But, they do it to be more financially flexible, I suppose. And people who are maybe new to soccer don't know about like teams that are kind of like sellers always. And it's a sad way to think about it on the world stage because there are teams that build up talent and then they just, survive off of selling that talent for millions of dollars to a huge club. And, at least in MLS, if you're a fan of parity, it's better because it's a different system in place. And there is like salary caps. There are salary caps. Whereas in Europe, you do not have that. So it keeps it a little bit more level. If you're interested, if I have helped you get interested in soccer at all from this, I would say definitely watch MLS and like don't go in, expecting Champions League level play. Any sort of, like Premier League level play or Bundesliga level play or La Liga level play. But it's kind of like a scrappy American brand. It's what they've had to do with the World Cup in years past. I know, people get excited come World Cup time and then they don't really get as interested in their domestic league. And, I think that scrappiness that they had in years past is still shown in MLS. and scrappiness can also, sometimes be sloppy. But, there's going to be a lot of goals, which is, American fans seem to like. And also on top of that, the national team continues to get better. And as the national team gets better, I think we're going to start to see the MLS continue to grow. Every year, we're seeing them do a little bit better in tournaments against Mexican teams, which, by the way, another very cool, thing about soccer. You get to play teams from other countries. You have outside tournaments. It's a lot of fun. It mixes things up. It's kind of like if the Islanders decided to play a tournament against like a KHL, a group of KHL teams and stuff like that. That would be kind of cool. What do you guys think of that? I know in Europe they do some Champions Hockey League stuff, which is like kind of close to that. But yes, this has been my little soccer ramble. Probably won't be another for a while, so I wanted to get a lot out. Expectations for the Red Bulls to finish up the video. If they make the playoffs, I'll be very happy. If they don't, it obviously depends on how, but I still see it as a good build-up year for a guy like Caden Clark, and for some guys in the back like Kyle Duncan continuing to be an offensive defenseman. And guys like Tolkien, just like fun stories about a guy who had his prom last week and then plays left back on Friday. Yeah, Friday. Anyway, we'll see you next time on Bulls Bunch, which will be probably in a very long time. But we'll see you tonight as well for Belmont Bunch and the Game 4 recap and go into a watch party. We'll try to get the video out as soon as possible. And that's about it. So hopefully some Baseball Bunch stuff coming soon. The Islanders being, as far into the playoffs as they are, has kind of pushed other stuff to the side. But I wanted to fit this in to de-stress myself for tonight's game as well. And hopefully I de-stressed you. Bye.